Hey, modeling freaks, fans, and friends, it's the Pope of Plastic here. Not from the Cathedral of Model Building, but from Harry's Hobbies and Collectibles here in Norton, Massachusetts, where we're in our second installment of unboxing vintage kits. And today, I have a doozy. I have a rare model that you may have never seen, or if you did, it was too expensive for you when you were a kid. It's not an easy model, but it is special, and we are going to unbox it today here at Harry's Hobbies. Here it is, everybody. This is something you do not see every day. And I've tried searching for this, and it's super hard to find. This right here is the Graf Zepplin by Testors. This was put out, don't quote me on the year. I'm not an encyclopedia, I'm not Google, but I'm gonna say this model came out probably 1982, around there, because I'm just going from memory when I remember seeing it at the hobby shop down in Florida, that it was around that time frame. Now, it looks like this. They had this on sale for $14.95. I don't think you could get this for $14.95 today, but there it is, $14.95. Graf Zepplin. Now, the cool thing about this is the first time, and I think they were probably pretty ahead of their time as far as a model kit goes. If this was done in styrene, regular plastic, this thing would be a pretty heavy model. Well, Testors, I'm sure, to save money back in the day and to make it light so you could probably hang it from the ceiling or whatever you wanted to do, they had the vision to do this as a, I guess you would call this is a blow molded plastic. It's very, very light and very, very different. But you got a lot of your major components here are done. I'm trying to think of what this is. Vacuum formed plastic is what this is. This is vac formed. And a lot of times, you know, when you're doing a custom windshield or something, you can vac form. Vac form's very easy to do. It doesn't take a whole lot of heat. You build a form, you put the clear styrene over it, you heat it up, you turn on the vacuum, it vacuums down, it molds to the shape. Once it molds to the shape, you let it cool and you trim it out like this. So you would trim around all these edges. So I'm not sure exactly what parts these are. There's the nose of the Zeppelin. And look at this. Here is your actual two sides of the model kit. What glue would you use to put this together? I would probably use a CA glue or an epoxy. Probably I would probably go with a two-part epoxy, and here's the reason why. Why would I go with a two-part epoxy? Because epoxy is flexible. So, and this is a very flexible model. So I think if you did it in CA, you would end up having this thing crack, and I don't think you would get a good adhesion between the parts. So I think what I would do if I were doing this kit, to be honest with you, I don't think I'll ever do this kit after looking. This thing looks like a nightmare. I would do it with a two-part epoxy. I probably, once I trim it, I would probably fashion myself some sort of a tab system, so when you get it together, it'll keep the shape. And just a tip on two-part epoxy: if you're going to use two-part epoxy on, usually you're using it for metal to plastic, fabric to plastic, things like that, things that don't adhere with regular cement. Let it set up for a couple minutes. If it's a 5-minute epoxy, wait till about 4 minutes and then apply the epoxy, because then you don't have to wait too long for it to set up, and it will act like kind of like normal glue. And then once it sets up, it's a very, very strong bond, and you don't have to worry about it after you get it all, you know, put together. So anyway, so this is a weird model. You don't normally see this. I can't think of another model that has this kind of assembly that you have to do. I can see myself not being happy building this thing. I do not think I would be happy building this model. It just seems like a complete and utter challenge, and probably I mean, I'm sure I could figure it out. I'm sure it would be good in the end, but I'll tell you what, I can just see frustration written all over this thing. Now we've got these parts. Now this is weird too. Now I'm just going to open. This is a complete kit, by the way. You can get this at Harry's Hobbies. If you want to go through the disaster of building this thing, Harry will take care of you. I don't think he's going to sell it to you for $14.95, which is the price on it. I think out of rarity, it's probably going to be fairly expensive. But you know, maybe there's something you could trade Harry for it. Maybe Harry's looking for I don't know. There's something. Now this is weird. Now these are blow molded, vacuum formed. I would say vacuum formed, not blow molded. Vacuum formed parts as well, but they've trimmed these for you. And these are the fins. And the one thing about vacuum formed, I do not think the fit is going to be very good. Now, I could be wrong, but probably not going to be great. I'm just going to put these here. And then now on these parts, on the engines, the gondola, etc. Now these are, these are normal styrene plastic, but not your typical styrene plastic. These are kind of flexible. Not sure what this plastic is made up of, but it's not your typical styrene. Somebody out there in YouTube world will put a message and they'll, oh, that's, they'll have the exact formula. Look, like I said in my last video, I am not an expert on the makeup of every single thing in the modeling world, or every single bit of technology, or every single bit of history. I don't claim to be the smartest guy on the planet. I'm a model builder. I build models. I try to make them look realistic, do some research. I am not an expert. So if you want to put all the comments in and tell me exactly what everything is, I'm sure the rest of the viewers would love it. But I'm a model builder, not an encyclopedia. These decals are terrible. Terrible. Awful. You're going to have to definitely remake the decals, which is fine. Scan these into the computer. Make sure they're at 100% when you scan them in. You want a program like Photoshop or Illustrator to be able to recreate these. Again, as I said in my last video, if you need help with that, I'm happy to help you to create decals for your custom kits, or decals from vintage kits that are not good anymore. I can help you recreate them, and then I do have a source for printing the decals if you need that done. Now let's get into the instructions. Hopefully the instructions are better than the model kit, because this thing, just the box is a disaster. Okay, here's the instruction sheet. I don't know which this one. We're looking at this together. We're back in 1982, opening this up for the first time. Thank God my parents didn't buy me this frickin' thing. Thank the Lord Almighty that my parents did not buy me this, because this would have never have gotten completed. It would have been in the trash can. And my dad be pissed off because I'd be crying and everything else. And my dad then would have to help me to try and build this thing, and then he'd be mad, and then I would have never made it into the world of model building if we would have tried to build this kit in 1982. I can assure you that. What is this? Assembly of the whole to make assembly easier to enter. Ah, see, this is how smart the Popa plastic is. I was talking about making tabs to make the halves go together. That's what those shapes are that I said, I don't know what the hell these are. That's what those shapes are. They're tabs. They've blow molded, not blow molded. They vacuum formed tabs that you put on the inside of the fuselage before you put the halves together. See? Sometimes I amaze myself with how smart I am. Okay, let's look at it. Now, this is printed like a newspaper. This is the first time I have ever seen any. It's like we're back in. It's like the Wall Street Journal from 1936. Which I guess they were trying to emulate what the actual. Now, this is actually really cool. The more that I think of this, this is like if it were printed back in 1936. This is really good. This is better than the model kit, by the way. This is better than the model kit. This is really awesome. Here's your instructions, preparations of parts. Here's your. This is really cool. I gotta say, the model, I don't know. Here's all your assembly. I mean, not a lot to this kit. I mean, we're not talking about a lot of pieces. And you're saying, well, if it doesn't have very many pieces, how? Oh, here we go. Oh, that's to make all the. They're telling you how to melt the sprue to make all of the cabling for the gondola and everything else. Now, what we would use nowadays, because they probably didn't have it back then, is Easy Line. Is what we would use for the strings. Easy Line, you can get it on in my Amazon store, amazon.com/shop/thepopoplastic. Easy Line is a stretchy filament, and which makes it very hard to break. So once you glue it in place, if you bang it into something or whatever, it's not going to break on you. So I would stay away from doing this type of creating your own filament lines. I just get Easy Line. And here's the back. Here's the actual layout of and some photographs. The old Testors. What year? Let's see if we can see what year this was. I was wrong. 1976 this kit was made. 1976. I was off by quite a few years. I was saying 82, so much earlier than I thought. 1976 out of Los Angeles, California. That's back in the day. I was not building, well, no, I was building model kits in 1976 very badly because I was very, very young. I built my first model kit in 1975, a Revell submarine, and I can still remember it to this day. It did not come out good. And that's a story for another day. The Graf Zepplin. Testors. My closing thoughts on this. I really would never want to build this kit. No, I don't think so. But then there's part of me that as the challenge, because people are going to say, oh, you don't want to build it because you couldn't build it. I'm sure I could build it. So now I'm tempted to want to build it because I want to prove everybody wrong that I could actually build this. Will I build it? Probably not. Could I build it? Of course I could. Would I be pissed off building it? 100%. Would I throw things? Absolutely. Would I use a lot of foul language? Absolutely. Would I offend some people? Absolutely. Especially if this was built for a customer. I'd be offending the customer at every turn because I'd be cussing the customer for hiring me to do this, which is wrong as a business person. You don't cuss. The customer is always right, unless it comes to building models. And then I always think that I'm right, and I get pissed off, and sometimes I'm not the best business person. That's just me. That's just me. If you want to hire me to build a model, here's a few things you can guarantee in this process. I'll be excited at first, especially when you send me the payment for it, because I take 50% down. I'll be happy in the unboxing. Probably happy in the first couple of steps. And then it'll quickly start going south, especially if it's not a good model, if the directions are terrible. You can guarantee that I'm going to be miserable for a long time. But this is why people, for some reason, like me, is they like to see me upset. They don't like seeing me build a simple model. They would love for me to build this Graf Zeppelin. If you want me to build it for you, I'll build it for you. I'm just warning you. I'm just warning you. We may not be friends at the end, but I will give you a good model. I can guarantee you that. What do we have coming up next? I can tell you this. We have so much here at Harry's Hobbies. It's unlimited. I'm just in one small room with there's some models in here. We got cars in all of these boxes. We've got, this is one I think we're going to see soon. And this is a huge 3-foot long Blue Devil destroyer by the infamous, and I don't mean that in a good way, the infamous Hindenburg. I've never heard any good words associated with the model company Hindenburg, and I doubt I would have any good words about this model kit, but this would be a fun one to unbox, and maybe we'll do that next week. I'm always open to your suggestions. If there's something you want to see, I'm sure Harry's has it. Leave a comment in the section at the bottom. I will look at your selections and I may consider it. And if he has it handy, then I'll unbox the model. Until then, if you're in Norton, Massachusetts, please come by Harry's. If you're anywhere in the world, get on a plane, get on a steamer, get on a train, get on a mule wagon, walk, do anything that you can to get to Harry's Hobbies, because I'm telling you, it's one of the best hobby shops in the world, period. I've been to a lot of them. This is one of the best, and he's got it all. If he doesn't have it, I always say this, then you just quit. Quit. If he doesn't have it, you don't need it, and you probably shouldn't be looking for it. I am the Pope of Plastic. Vintage model kit unboxings every Friday. Thank you for tuning in. Tell your friends. Please hit the subscribe and like button. I love you all. Please also watch me live on TikTok every evening, building, yelling, cursing, throwing things. I'm on there at the Pope of Plastic. That's where you can find me. And most importantly, make sure you check out my website, thepopeofplastic.com. You can leave me a message there. You can also email me, thepopeofplastic@gmail.com. If you're interested in having me build a model for you and yell at you, you can hire me there. Thanks for tuning in. We will be back next Friday with another interesting unboxing. I'm the Pope of Plastic. Thanks.